out of the norm, really beautiful things can happen. This has been my experience and my journey. My name is Noyola, and I am a proud trans Latina who is fighting for all of our communities. I come from rich and deep indigenous roots from Comitán, Chiapas, and San Luis Potosí, Mexico. I was born and raised in an evangelical Pentecostal church. My parents were pastors of a primarily immigrant and undocumented church for over 25 years in the Bay Area. Like Marisa shared last night, I too am nervous for this moment. I feel the weight and the magnitude of this opportunity for my community. I realize who is in this room and how groundbreaking it is for some of you who have never seen and heard from a trans Latina leader talk and share about our issues. I realize that this moment might mean an internal awakening in some of you. And you are not alone. Right now, this awakening is currently taking place throughout the world. It is an awakening that realizes that beauty and diversity of gender and the boundless and limitless possibilities to express our true and authentic selves is possible. What I'm about to share are not my words. These are the words that my communities and the trans movement have been sharing throughout the years at countless rallies, interruptions, protests, panels, speeches, advocacy meetings. I echo these words from organizations like Familia, Get Equal, Galay, Breakout, the Audre Lorde Project, the Sylvia Rivera Law Project, Casa Ruby, Ella, TLC, SONG, TGIJP, Trans Latina Coalition, and countless other trans and LGBT orgs. These are the words they have been using to fight a transphobic system that is hunting us down and waging a war on trans communities. When the clock struck midnight on January 1st of this year, many people were hopeful for a new year of positive change. Unfortunately, less than 3 months into the new year, 6 transgender women of color, Michelle Bash Payne, Ty Underwood, Lamia Beard, Miss Edwards, Taja de Jesus, Penny Proud, had already been murdered in the United States. Further, a genderqueer nonconforming Latina teenager was shot and killed by police in Denver, Colorado. We are at the end of this year, and we have reached a total devastating loss of 24 transgender women of color that have been brutally taken away from us. Transgender communities are fighting to exist and survive. Media visibility has not transformed the struggles and experience of violence transgender communities face daily, especially transgender women of color. With the very few resources and access, our transgender communities have been able to provide a warm place to rest, meals, and a place to find community and connection. Our community of transgender leaders have prioritized this work, and we have taken care of our own, and we have, with the most vulnerable of our communities and with very little support from existing Latinx and immigrant rights organizations. We have created safe spaces in our own homes, living rooms, and other spaces we are given access to. Our community is in survival mode. Transgender and gender non-conforming people, especially trans women of color, exist at the intersection of multiple oppressions and face homelessness, unemployment, lack of access to educational opportunities, profiling, and violence at the hands of police and the criminal injustice system, deportation at alarming rates, and lack of access to safe, affirming, and affordable health care. The National Coalition of Anti-Violence Programs, which found in 2013 Transgender women of color were the majority, 72% of victims of reported hate violence, and also 7 times more likely to experience police violence and physical violence from law enforcement. 32% of Black transgender people were sexually assaulted while in police custody or in jail. Transgender people who are detained in ICE and for-profit detention centers face severe sexual assault. 1 in 4 trans women are sexually assaulted in the first 12 months. And denial of health care to the wholesale rejection of their identity by the detention system, which too often houses trans women in men's facilities. Transgender immigrants face asylum from violence, are facing horrific abuses and torture inside immigration detention facilities. As we have seen in some of the campaigns that Not One More has lifted up, from Free Marichui to Free Nicole, and the current campaign, Free Christina. From national census to health records to HIV surveillance to school to criminal and justice systems, the availability to transgender data is abysmal. Despite the progress and visibility our community has gained in the past decade, we have learned from survey reports that transgender women of color are 49 times likely to contract HIV when compared to the general population. Nearly half of young transgender people have seriously thought about taking their lives, and 1 in 4 have made a suicide attempt. Transgender women of color need to feel safe in our communities. Instead of increasing the budget of ICE and police, we need more investment in education, jobs, healthcare, and housing, particularly for Black and Latina transgender people. Transgender communities must have a place to process the trauma of everyday transphobic encounters. Intentional transgender spaces are critical and a much-needed place of comfort for our community. We must create spaces that affirm our existence and lived experience. We must demand that our social workers, counselors, medical professionals, case managers, nonprofit leaders who provide direct services to re-examine the ways they are engaging our community. We do not have the luxury as a whole and complete Latinx movement to just choose one of our identities and suppress the others simply to get the crucial support needed to survive. As a movement, to build a Latinx left, we have a moral responsibility to create spaces where my community can be seen and embraced in the fullness of who we are. And as a movement to build a Latinx left, we have a strategic obligation. It will take every single one of us to challenge and change the power structures that hold us down. We cannot afford our isms and phobias. We must support intentional spaces that are truly reflective of the vibrant and diverse communities we all belong to. Our transgender communities know what we need to feel safe, not DC politicians or legal experts and strategists. Transgender leadership is needed now more than ever to build holistic programs and policies that truly reflect community values and experiences. Transgender people can tell you exactly what is wrong in our cities and what needs to be changed. We can power map the city players and decision makers and tell you how our struggles are linked to other struggles for self-determination. We can sit through the funeral of our friends and not say a word about the fact that the preacher keeps calling her he, and that the family dressed her in a suit. And if the preacher walks away from the funeral when he finds out who's in the casket, we can stand up and conduct the funeral ourselves. We don't want your pity. Transgender people are medicine, spirit, and leadership. Our communities can get free with our trans comrades. Every day, we transgender people wake up and we look in the mirror and we should look in the mirror and be proud because we have survived another day. And when we have done, and when we have one another for support and community, we believe we can thrive. In life and in death, we are all survivors. I know it's Sunday, and I'm a pastor's kid, and I want to read a passage from the Social Justice Bible of Asada Shakur. For all my trans and gender non-conforming people to stand up with me and come up here on stage and stand alongside me. Been here. So maybe some folks have already in some of the workshops, but we're going to do it all together collectively. Y lo vamos a comenzar en español, okay? And we're going to do it twice. All right? ¿Están listos? Are you all ready? Es nuestro deber luchar por nuestra libertad. Debemos amarnos unos a otros y apoyarnos mutuamente. Debemos amarnos unos a otros y apoyarnos mutuamente. No tenemos nada que perder más nuestras cadenas. No tenemos nada que perder más nuestras cadenas. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains.